What's up, everybody? A Spare with a Gun here from Sleepless Nights with another episode on Space Engineers. When we left off in the last episode, I was still working on the thrusters, which I'm not sure if you can tell or not, but there's been a little bit of progress that's been made. So I went ahead and framed in the entire... Well, I thought I framed it in. What happened here? Did I miss a spot? Oh, no, I guess I just haven't done it yet. So let's go ahead and do this, because apparently I forgot to. But there should... Well, that kind of lines up, I guess. Wait a minute. How'd that happen? Oh, no, I am one off. Okay. So let's grab this one. Actually, let's make sure that this is the right length, because on the other side it was not. Yeah, okay. So we're at the right length. We're just going to bring this across and connect this up. And then we've got our bar there. So as you can tell, I've done a little bit of work on the design here, and I think I'm happy with it overall, or at least where it's headed. So we've got this, which, as I mentioned before, I've got both versions. This is just Spotlight, and then this one over here I've done with the LCD screen. I'm not really sure which one I like better. I'm not gonna lie, because this has its merits. It's kind of cool looking. It's more uniform. I don't like that as you get up close there's this gap with the spotlights. That's not the case. Also, the spotlights back here tends to look a bit more thruster-ish, as far as it looks like there's a bunch of different ones, so I'm not really sure. I've also played around a little bit with some texturing. As far as you can see here, I originally had just flat slope blocks like this going up the whole way, and I decided to play around with it a little bit and make it a little more unique, textured, whatever. So I did this kind of staggered, and I kind of like it. And I also did the same thing on the side here, that once I did the... once I got the full shape, then I was like, well, I could actually add these little grooves in here, and that would be kind of a neat little effect. Now, one interesting thing was when I got out to the nose. I had this idea one night. I was going to bed, and I was like, oh, that would be kind of cool, where this has kind of the, not stubby, but it's kind of a nub back here with the little spikes on it. I was like, well, at the front, I could go longer and make it more like a point. And I kind of like the profile from a distance, that you've got kind of the butt back here, but then this has more of a arrowhead kind of thing. So I went and did all ramps, and I think I did this left side as a smooth, so you could see what it looked like. I could do this and just leave it, but I really just did that for simplicity. And I had planned on basically just going back and filling all these in later. But then I had the idea, well, if it comes to a point, I could use interior pillars and kind of create this effect, which is kind of cool. And I put a spotlight back here. Now, originally, I actually wanted to use these and have the neon tubes running all around this pillar. The problem is the mounting points. Actually, since I've got the build tool, I can actually show you there's no mounting point here to facet it to, because it needs to be on the back or on the front. And unfortunately, with these guys, their mounting points is on the bottom, the side, and the back. They don't have one in the front nose, and I can't actually mount it to the interior pillars because theirs is only on the front and the back. So that created a problem that I've yet to figure out. So for now, this is the best I could make it work. Eventually, I'd like to figure out some kind of sneaky way to use the neon tubes, but at the moment it doesn't look like that's really going to be an option. Now, there are a few things going on here that I don't know if I need to do or not. One of them being all of this extra block. Originally, it's just been there for designing purposes. It's just kind of scaffolding to make sure the spacing is correct and the length and number of blocks is all right, yada yada. But in terms of, okay, I'm done with it, I don't know if I really need all of this extra blockage. I mean, obviously, it adds more protection that, if somebody shot through this armor plating, they'd hit this rather than hitting the thruster, stuff like that. But I don't know if it's necessary, because I'm becoming more and more aware of how costly and time-consuming this build is going to be. I mean, pretty much this array right here made it non-viable right now for me in my air quote let's play. Which, like I said, do let me know if you guys would prefer to see this as a continued series of a let's build, but then we go back to our regular scheduled let's play type stuff, because I'm not actually sure even when this is done and I have a blueprint, I don't know when I'm going to actually be able to build it, because even though I've got the moon drill going on, there's just a crap ton of resources I'm going to need, like this requiring thruster components and stuff, which, if I remember correctly, require gold. And it's like, well, then I've got to mine a whole bunch of gold, because that's going to be a ton. Stuff like that. So, also, there's been a few really good suggestions about gyroscopes and other things. I do want to point out, just so I don't have to keep answering it and just save everybody some time, right now, this is more function than efficiency. I'm trying to make sure that I have enough thrusters, enough fuel, enough power, blah, 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 to where it moves the way that I've anticipated that I want it to. Once that happens, because a lot of people have been recommending to use some of this excess space to make auxiliary engine rooms and backups and spread it out a little bit more. I don't disagree at all. I'm just trying to figure out how much I need, and then figure out where it's all going to go, kind of thing, if that makes sense. So just kind of a blanket answer. But in the meantime, I was trying to finish up these thrusters, but like I said, this kind of extra shell that was there, do I still need it? Should I remove it? I'm kind of debating, because it's a lot of armor. Now granted, all of these light armor blocks is basically just iron in the grand scheme of things, which is time consuming, but it's not really all that expensive when you've got like a drill set up like I have on our moon base. So that I'm not as concerned about as like the bazillion thrusters and stuff that I've got on. That's kind of a concern with how much these cost. But I digress. That's not really what we're talking about today. So, I have been playing around with this a lot. I do like this thruster structure a lot. I do think I'm going to finish it this way. Like I said, whether I leave the internal hull is another story. Now, another thing is texture, because I've been playing around with this texture. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I kind of like it, but I'm not sure. It does add an extra greebled look without doing anything. Like, I don't have to do much for it to look more detailed and more busy, which is kind of cool. The other thing is weaponry. Now, here's something that I've been trying to figure out. It just kind of occurred to me shortly before I started recording this. This is going to be a big ship. And we're kind of past the point of keeping things cheap and practical. This is getting into ridiculous and might as well go for the fences kind of thing. So, now I'm not talking about having a thruster, or a rocket launcher on every exposed block or anything like that. But I do think I want some weapons on these thruster pods. So my original thought, we've got a conveyor line, we've got all these hydrogen tanks that are connected through the conveyor lines, as well as we've got, actually I just realized I could probably just throw another tank here and disconnect, or not disconnect, but shorten this conveyor tube, now that I'm looking at it. I know it's saved, but I'm going to save it real quick before I do that, just because things break. So if we get rid of those three, I should be able to just put another tank there. And that should work. Yeah, that fixes that. So my thought process is that I may... actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna actually put a conveyor here. Reason being, I don't remember if you can pass rockets and stuff through tanks or not. But anyway, the idea here is that maybe we come through like this, since now this is basically sealed. Or not sealed, but we don't really need this internal shell to be perfect in appearance anymore. And if we come through like this, then what I'm thinking is we can basically go around or punch through or whatever, but we can avoid the thruster damage part, which is at about to here, give or take. And we can come in under this armor plating and then up through this center block. That's kind of the idea. And I'd probably want to do something like this. Something like that, right? And then the spacing is going to be the other thing. I don't think I want them every block. That's kind of overkill, but I do feel this is going to be a little bit of my battleship kind of thing. So I do want it to be fairly heavily armed. I don't want to have to basically worry about dealing with any other ships. Now this does affect the armor design, which is an issue. The other thing is I haven't even counted out how many spaces this is. So I don't know how many of these I can fit. But let's just assume we're doing something like that. So it'd be, even that might be a little much. Let's first start with, ooh, wrong texture, but I don't care. Let's start with putting, let's see if that's 3. That's only 2 blocks between them. Let's start with putting 3, let's call them ribs. We'll put 3 ribs between each one. So 1, 2, 3. Let's see what this ends up looking like. Because the other thing is spacing of, like, math. Like this. See, we're going to end up with a different spacing here. And that's a bit of a problem. So what we could do is change it in the center. So let's go like this. Okay. Let's do another 3 here. Where does that put us? I think that would work. So then you'd basically have like this. Oop, why did it change? Oh, no, I don't have the auto rotate on. That's weird. So you basically have something like that, which I think is pretty cool. I don't think it's overkill. And you're basically just putting 2 closer together in the center kind of thing. Now, I could, you know, there's no end to customizing this. We could end up doing, you know, 2 missile ones, a missile one in the middle, in between the... Who knows? I personally have not heard a lot of... I don't do a lot of ship-to-ship PvP, but I haven't heard a lot of great things in terms of the missile turrets. So I'm not as excited to put them on here. Now, the other thing is I may end up capping these. Just so that they look a little bit more finished. Kind of thing. Oh, by the way, I do apologize in advance. Well, I guess it's not really in advance now, but in advance in case my voice sounds kind of scratchy or anything like that. I've been talking a lot today, and my voice is a bit shot already, so there's that. So if you hear my voice sound squeaky or weird or something, that's why. See, I don't know how I feel about that. I like it, but I don't at the same time. It kind of takes away from some of the aesthetic I was going for, which is... not sure if I like it or not. I could do half blocks. Could do half blocks, but then I guess it kind of... I don't know. It just doesn't give the same effect that I was looking for. I liked this basically strap that was going across the thruster pod here. But I don't know. So there's stuff like that I've been working on, but I'm going to go ahead and see if we can finish up one of these thrusters here. I may leave this side open just because I'm still trying to figure out how I want to do the blend into this arm here. But let me see if I can work on this, and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so I've done this, which took a lot longer than I was hoping it was going to, but it took forever. So I did this, and I think it's going pretty well. I've also got the mirror mode on, so we did the bottom side as well. Now, like I said, I've got the inner side that's been left open, but that's partially just because I didn't feel like doing it, and partially also because I don't know exactly how I'm going to merge this section in here just yet. But the other factor is this element, this indentation type thing. I didn't do it over here. I did do it up here on the top rail and the bottom rail, but here is a little bit different because I added the 2x1 ramps instead of the 1x1 slopes. So for example, when I did this before, I would do something like this. I'd get them lined up, and I think it was the first one, yeah. Okay, so the first one I put here, and then did I do them all the way up? No, I skipped one. Okay, so you do one, then I skipped one, and then I do another one. And I kind of just walked my way up. I'm not really sure why I didn't do this on this side yet, but whatever. And it gave kind of this unique shape. Now the problem comes in with the 2x1 ramps, because I don't know how this is going to look. I could either skip 2x1, or I could just cut the nose off. And what I mean by that is, where would be the nose? I guess it'd be right here. So I can either take that and then put a a half slope, sorry, and then I guess we would skip 2 and do it again. So I can either do that. Actually, that might be the only way I can do it. I was gonna say or, and then I was like, I don't know what or would be. I think I was thinking every slope. Like I could do it every slope, or I could skip it. Like that's what I was thinking. So because I skipped one before, this would essentially be skipping one kind of thing. And that's the part that I don't know if it would look, I don't know if it would look better that way. Actually, I'm not even sure if this looks better at all, but the other factor, okay, good. If I did it that way, it would line up like that, which is fine. Now, you'll notice this little section here where I've got a couple of spotlights. This is just the shape, and I don't know of a way to reconcile it without using modded blocks. So what happened was this up here. As you can see, there is a row where it goes 2x1 ramp, then corners, then ramp, then a corner wall, right? All the way down. Same here, you got ramp, corner, ramp. And the problem with that is it adds this strip in the middle where it sticks out. Now this matches the back, as you can see here, because we've got the middle row, and then we've got a second row, and then we've got the corners. It matches, and a lot of this, it's funny how so much of this design is determined by like one element, and it's this thruster back here. All of this shape is coming off of this right here, because I had this shape, I had this design where I was trying to do an indented situation, but to reconcile the indentation, I had to do this wonky shape, which I think looks good. I like how it looks, but then that had to be carried through pretty much the rest of the design. Plus the height, or rather distance, is due to the spacing for the thruster damage, right? So the only other way I could think to do these, and I don't really think I'm going to change them at this point because, one, a lot of work has gone into them. Two, I actually like how this is looking. I don't know if it should be every other. See, the problem with every one is if I do every one, then I get this, which I don't like. Now, it is my ship, so I could just say, nope, I'm not doing that one, but I like to follow the same patterns that I start with in order to maintain it. So, I don't really want to do that, so I guess... See, this is the other issue, is technically that would be how I would start this on this side, and then I would skip, because if you look at this back here, they're not properly aligned. Well, I guess they kind of are, but they're out for... No, I guess they are aligned. Never mind. I'm wrong. I may have done it, I might have designed it, but apparently I don't understand it. So I'm wrong. It's actually here. So I would basically just follow along and replace every one that I did for this guy, or for this block, and then we should be fine. So that would maintain the same shape. Now I do skip one. Ooh, see, that would be, I just have to stop it there if I did that, because skipping one would be on this block again, which I don't want to remove, because that would look pretty, well, no, because then I'd have to do it on this one too. No, I don't like that. I don't like that. It'd be different if I could do like a half block, like if I did a half block here and then was still able to stack on it, but you can't. You can't build on a half block, so that's not really going to work. So we're just going to have to do it like that. The other factor is I guess I'll have to do it up here as well if I do that. But I'll probably just do all this off camera at some point. But anyway, so that's kind of the gist of it. And then I did go ahead and run the Gatling turrets, and I've got them wired up through conveyors as well. And the conveyor system, I don't remember if I can pass ammo through thrusters and tanks, but I basically just tied it into this thruster right here. For some reason, it's off. It's off center from the central point that I allotted for this. Not sure what happened, but it is what it is. So if I wanted ones on the top rail up here as well, I'd probably do the same thing. I don't think I would put any weapons on the inside ones, on the inside here. The top and the bottom and the outer side I can understand. The inside doesn't make any sense to me, just because even though there's a good amount of space here where, like, technically even a small ship could fly through, I don't know, maybe I'll put weapons here. It just seems a little like if I've got weapons on the main fuselage, this screams crossfire to me. This is the problem. Like, if something flies between here and you've got turrets here or turrets here and it's trying to shoot it as it's flying by, I just see crossfire where you're going to end up jacking up your own thrusters or shooting your own hull, you know, and that may just be a vulnerability. That's, I think, one of those, hopefully all of these guns keep them from getting in between the pylons here. The other thing, we're gonna put a pin in the thrusters for the moment. The other thing I wanted to talk about is this solar array setup that I tried to do that didn't really work all that well. And for some reason the hinges and everything are all out of whack. I'm not sure what happened here. It may be that they're pressing up against it, because these look like they're pressing on it, but it's at a weird angle. I don't know what happened. Anyway, somebody, I don't remember who, suggested to actually put the rotor, which I think I could do this one, I think. Anyway, have it stored horizontally and have it come out kind of like this. Rather than coming out this way, have it come out like this and then fold back over. So kind of like, I was actually planning on having it come out this way and be flat and then rotate horizontally, but they're basically talking about reversing it, where it comes out one way and then you can adjust it the other way. The other option here is to do a piston door. Now, I almost think it would be easier, and we're going to do a little bit of a test run here. I'm going to turn off mirror mode because I don't want to mess with it right now, and I'm going to be basically kind of experimenting here real quick. What I'm going to do is build on top of a flat, or relatively flat. Where are my pistons anyway? What do I do with them? I know they're on a hotbar somewhere. Well, they're supposed to be on a hotbar somewhere anyway. Whatever. I cannot find them. Hello. Please load game. Come on. You can do it. There you go. Good job. Oy vey. So we're going to throw pistons on here. And let's just go ahead and throw... Let's do some merge blocks. Man, everything's so laggy. I don't know why. I know I have like the tiered mods and stuff, so it's probably loading some different mods, but it still seems a bit odd. So I don't know if this is going to work or not. Actually, I'm going to make a quick save because I don't trust it. But if I put a block here, obviously, I love the new collision system. Look at that. I can actually stack them. That's so cool. Okay, so theoretically, I want to make sure this is attached to the piston and not to this other wall. In fact, what I might do is, you know what? Let's just make a whole nother platform real quick so I can make sure that it doesn't get affected by anything or isn't controlled by anything else. So let's make sure we're not moving. Oops. And let's just build a decent sized platform. We'll throw on the underside here, let's just throw the basics. Just so that it doesn't go anywhere. I don't remember. I don't think I need that, but whatever. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it doesn't have to look pretty, so that's fine. There, that should be fine. Just so it doesn't go anywhere. And let's do a piston. And what we're gonna do, because I've never actually built a piston door like this before, so let's assume, I'm gonna make sure that I'm probably right on the block that I don't want to break, but whatever. Oh, wow, I'm actually one off. Okay, cool. So, how do I want to do this? Let's say if we put... that might be a little too close. I'm not sure. Screw it, let's try it. I don't think this will work from this depth. No. Okay. So, let's try... I'm not actually sure if this will work at all, because this may just be too close. Yeah, it's too close. So, but what we can do, I'm probably being a little stupid. I'm kind of building freehand at the moment as far as just, I don't have a plan set up. So if a lot of this doesn't make any sense or is a little inefficient, that's my bad. Because, like, I was just realizing I can do this way and then have the merge block be over here. So, let's do... let's do a block like this, and then we'll build the merge block after this is extended, right? So let's... I don't know, I was gonna say blast door block. I'm not sure if I actually need it with the new update, the way the collision boxes are working. So let's just assume we've got a door like this, right? And we'll say this is just 2 blocks for now. So we'll cut out a 2 block gap, right? So theoretically, if we extend this, we're not getting any busted up stuff at the moment, which is, again, credit to the collision box update that they did. Now, with it out here, were we to put a merge block here, now obviously I'd have to gauge the door or whatnot, but I don't care. So then were we to reverse it again, it's going to bring it back. Hopefully it's not scraping anything, and then it should hook that merge block. And again, I'm kind of doing this a little bit more for me than you guys. Like, I'm just kind of trying to plan and test out and make sure what I'm going to do would work. So we got that. Yeah, see, that's the problem. Now, if I break these, it's still not going to work. Interesting. See, this is one of those weird glitches that the merge block, not the merge block, the collision box update added in. You can kind of see it popping around a little bit, because it hardly ever did this before. But now with the collision boxes where you can do these like really close overlaps, now it gets kind of finicky and it doesn't like what's going on. Now, so I'm going to play around with this a little bit more. That is one option. Actually, what am I doing? Let me just clear that. So that's one option of doing something similar. We may have to use blast door block instead of regular block, but we could make that work. The other option would be like they were talking about in the comments. Which one is this? I wish it would... Oh, there it is. Solar array, advanced roller solar array on horizontal. So let's try that. If we were... What is it currently at? 355. Alright, let's try... Oh, it's rotor locked. Which way is that spinning? Okay, that's spinning the right way. I don't know why it's at an angle. It's that hinge is canted for some reason, and I'm not sure why. Hinge... Oh, crap. I just realized I don't have a... Where'd the lock go? I don't have a... Oh, that was pretty close, actually. I don't have a lower limit set for that. I do apologize, too, if this is a little bit of a harebrained episode. Like I said, I've been talking a lot today. I'm kind of tired. I was a little behind on schedule. I didn't have a whole lot of time to do a lot of cuts. Even building the thruster took, I don't know, probably took about an hour or half hour, something like that I wasn't planning on. Let's see if that will work. So this is a little bit of a real-time episode. I don't like this. This isn't gonna clear, I don't think. But this is kind of the gist of the idea, so we're gonna try it. Might as well. Hinge. Panel align. 54 base. I think it's the base one. So let's set the lower limit. Let's set to -90. Let's set this to 0. Okay, now hinge lock it. Where did that end up? Oh, that's this one. Oops. Poo. That's the base one. Okay, so what's this one? What is this one? This is the panel alignment. I named these. I should know what they are, right? But no. Okay, so that this is locked. Let's actually keep this at -90. And then we're going to let it go for just a second. And then we'll set this to 0. Now, why did it put it to 359? That's so stupid. Boy. Alright, let's reverse it. It's so dumb. Alright, now, leave that at -90. I'll have to set this once it moves a lot more, apparently. Alright, panel alignment. What are you doing? It's locked. Let's set this to... I don't know what these numbers are doing, why it's reversing and whatnot. Okay, so that's at 0. That's actually where I want it, but every time I set it to 0, it goes like 360, which is dumb. So, I don't think that's still gonna clear. I feel like I'd have to shift this over, although I could shift it over. You know what, let's actually go ahead and try it. Where's my hangar doors on here? For some reason, I put all these on hotbars. Oh, there's my pistons and everything. I feel like you should be able to name the hotbars. That might help with where you put stuff. Because I know I've probably passed them already. There they are. Okay, so let's go ahead, clear these. We're going to clear this. And we're essentially just going to move all this over by, like, 1 or 2. What it's doing, I have no idea. Don't ask me. I just build stuff. I don't make sense of it. Wait a minute, that didn't seem to help. That did the exact same thing that I just did, didn't it? Or was that... No, it'll be fine. Okay. It fixed it, sort of, semi, kind of, sort of, not really. We just need them open for now. I'm not going to bother closing them. And then we'll get rid of this. Again, I do kind of somewhat apologize for the real-timeness of this episode. I would have liked to have cut more out, but I was really focused on the thrusters, and then when I did the thrusters, I was kind of like, well, that was it, so what else am I working on? Dude, why is this swaying so much? This doesn't make any sense to me. This is why I don't play with rotors and pistons and everything. I have no idea what I'm doing. Let's try setting all these to share inertia. Nope, that's a terrible idea. What just happened? The whole ship moved. That was not a great idea. But why are you swaying? I don't understand. I probably have the speed too high or something and it's fighting it. Because I saw something about... Yeah, like, it's moving. I've got it locked and it's moving. I don't understand that. Like, stop moving. I don't understand what it's swaying for. Okay, wonder if... I don't know at this point. I don't know what it's doing. I'm pretty sure. Maybe it's this one. Let's try locking all of these. Maybe that's what's... That one's locked. I'm not even sure. Oh, that's for the... That's not even for this. Okay. Rotors, maybe? There's only one. It's locked. I don't know why it's floating, but whatever. We're just going to try this at this point. Because I'm running out of time. So, at this point, I hope this guy doesn't move. Let's turn up the braking torque. Maybe that'll stop it. Doesn't seem to be doing anything. I'm not sure what it's doing, but anyway. So let's take this off. And you're going the wrong way, of course. So we're gonna let this go. And so again, the idea here, if it wasn't swaying all over, is to bring it up like this. And hopefully the -90 will stop it from going any further. So that's the idea there. I don't know what all the sway is about, but it is what it is. So then, once it cleared, then you could do stuff like, we're gonna just really screw this up. So, wait, what is it now? What is it doing? It's falling back down now. Okay, almost, and lock it. Once again, why does everything flip from positive to negative once I'm locking it? It's at -88 and it jumps to 272. That doesn't make any sense. Oy vey. Especially when the upper limit is 90, it can't go to 270. That's so dumb. Anyways, gotta love space engineers sometimes. Let's just go for broke. So we've got the bottom and the top of these guys. We're just gonna reverse the pistons. Now, if I share on these, I wonder if it won't... It's still kind of... Well, I say that. I was watching this over here, but it's still kind of popping around anyway, so we're just going to leave that on. And we're going to leave that one on. And then let's do rotor. Solar hooray horizontal. Where is the... Oh, it's a hinge. That's right. I was like, where's the O2 ones? It's the hinge. Alright, so the hinge... I don't know what it's going to do. It's at 90. We're setting it to 0. Let's reverse it. And then piston for the O2, we'll reverse it. So in theory now, that's coming down and and the piston's going to extend out. Now we talked about it scraping and stuff and whatnot before, but that was the idea that somebody gave me, was instead of having it come out flat and then rotate, storing it flat and then having it come out, and then at this point you could use this hinge to tilt back if you needed more alignment to the sun, and you could use this rotor to rotate it if you needed to turn it and stuff like that. So that's kind of the idea. Now I'd have to test this to see with this design, could I do a 3-panel or is it still going to be limited to 2? I think that's going to come down to this corner because it's got to have enough room to arc and clear. But yeah, And with that in mind, if I did it that way, I might even be able to go off of this and not even use the pistons, just use conveyor tubes and bring it out to where the O2 farms are at a baseline of right at the edge here, and maybe not even bother with this other set of rotor hinges and whatnot. But anyways, that's going to do it for this episode. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. In the meantime, I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, and I will see you all next time. Peace.